Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Carrasco with the Grey Witches, and welcome back to our Tuesday show. A little bit late this afternoon, but here we are. So today we're just going to jump right in, and we are talking about the full harvest moon coming up on September 10th, this weekend on Saturday. So really excited to talk to you guys about this. The moon is all about our feelings, our reactions, our subconscious, right? It also is linked to our intuition, our need for emotional security, and our need to feel right about ourselves. So I'm really excited to talk about the full moon. We are constantly getting questions in our group about what you can do for the full moon. So let's jump right in. The moon is the closest celestial body to the Earth, and it affects humans every bit as much as it does the ocean, animal life, and plant life. The moon truly is considered the utmost important aspect in astrology. And as the moon journeys around the Earth, it reflects the light according to the angle between it and the sun as seen from Earth. So just a little bit of background on the moon for you if you're a new witch studying your craft. The moon makes this journey around the Earth 13 times a year. Each trip is called a lunation. So each lunation is divided into quarters or 4 quarters. The first quarter is when the moon and the sun are conjunct, meaning they are in the same place and the moon is dark. So we consider that a dark moon or a new moon. And then the second phase is when the sun and the moon are at a 90-degree angle or squared, and then you start seeing illumination on the moon to the right or the right of the moon. That's called the waxing period or the growing period. And then, of course, our third quarter begins the full moon. So that's when the moon and the sun are opposite. And so we are seeing the moon completely illuminated, which is happening this weekend. And then, of course, the final phase of the moon's journey is when, again, the moon and the sun are in a 90-degree angle, but on the opposite side. The moon is illuminated on the left, and this is called the waning period, or going back into the full cycle of the moon. So any full moon is about completion of a cycle, right? This is the time when you see the results of your actions, and you'll see what is working in your life, and you'll also see the stuff that you no longer serves you, so that you can take the appropriate action, whatever that needs to be, to change that, to change those things, to let go of those things that no longer serve you. So for instance, I am still trying to lose a little bit of weight after having my baby. And so if I hadn't been watching what I was eating this past month or the past 28 days of the moon cycle, I would find my clothes fitting a little bit tighter during the full moon, kind of just that reminder of it's revealing to me that it's time to get serious and start tracking of what I'm eating again, and eating healthier. So the full moon is a very significant time or significant phase of the moon. During this phase, your natural traits get heightened, and there's a lot of energy for you to tap into. So you want to use this energy to gain clarity about what's working for you and what's not working for you, to let go of those dead ends, to let go of something that is no longer serving you, and practicing gratitude for everything that you've accomplished in this cycle will come to fruition in the full moon. So on Saturday, the 10th, you definitely are going to want to check out the full moon. This full moon is known as the harvest moon, and it is really the last full moon of the summer. Although if you're like myself, I think that September is already fall. I've got my fall decorations out and I am ready to go for fall. But we aren't quite into fall yet, since that is the autumn equinox, right, coming up in September 20th to 23rd. So really, this is the last full moon of the summer, and the harvest moon is it's always called the harvest moon, the full moon closest to the autumn equinox. So sometimes it's not even in September. Every 3 years, you'll see the harvest moon in the beginning of October instead, like what happened back in 2020 is when the full moon, the harvest moon, was in October 1st. So it's the harvest moon is known as the harvest moon because the great harvest work can be extended in under the light of the full moon, which obviously was very popular back in the day. And so it's called the harvest moon. We've also known it to be called the corn moon, for example, because corn is a product of September. So the harvest moon is particularly important because it represents the moment in which we are ideally reaping what we've sown for the past 6 months, right? During the spring equinox, what came into fruition and what we've been building since this year's spring equinox, which was back in March. So it's therefore a suitable time to really take stock in the past 6 months of our lives and try to identify and reap the fruits of our labor, right? The fruits of our work. So the harvest moon this year falls in the sign of Pisces, which is a female mutable water sign. And Pisces is really changing water, right? That's already partially transformative. So it's water that boils and easily transforms into steam, stirring the turbulent and bringing to the surface everything that we have immersed in it, right? If you vision water boiling, everything is brought to the surface. So Pisces is the exaltation of Venus. And therefore, this moon represents the union of two very important archetypes of the sacred feminine, right? Sacred feminine energy. And that combination can cause particularly immense and intense emotions. Venus seeks harmony and balance, and Pisces is a sign of empathy, compassion, and for others, the expression of love. And so if we are at peace with that emotional side, or we've done the shadow work to really get underneath a lot of our emotions, then this full moon season can be really, you can turn what you're learning into a message, a lesson, that is very important to listen to and learn from. Otherwise, if you still have some work to do, if you're still working through shadow work in this moment, right, this weekend may be pretty difficult and problematic as those emotions continue to kind of bubble up to the surface. So just a warning there of getting ready for those things to come up as they come back up to the surface. So a few things to do during this harvest moon. I love the fall weather. I'm in Texas, and so it is always just crazy hot. And finally, we have a break in the weather. And so I'll be outside during this weekend, during this full moon. So just a few things that you may want to do as well during this harvest moon. I like, especially during or coming up on the autumn equinox, I like to make a list of just the major events that has happened in the past 6 months or a year that I've been able to learn lessons from. Some may want to consecrate a new ritual space, your altar, or a small home temple, something of that nature. If you're wanting to kind of come to fruition of a new altar space in your home, you can also make an invocation or I'm losing the word, an offering. Gosh, that was real hard, right? but you can make an offering to any type of lunar deity that you and you don't even necessarily have to worship them during this time, but if you do worship any lunar deities, you can make an offering to Isis by dedicating a part of your altar or ritual space to that entity. You also can make a list, as we come into September, October, make a list of things that you're grateful for, right? That have happened, whether it's this past month or the past 6 months. And if you are going to be outdoors like I am, you can observe the moon. Obviously, I think we'll all be doing that. But also make an offering of milk, asking a question or making a request. And if that offer is accepted or that request is accepted, then you can know that it's been accepted by I always like to kind of ask for that answer in a dream during one of the nights leading up to the next new moon. So kind of getting that question answered, whether it's from source, the deities that you worship or work with, I would just ask for that answer in a dream. So leave an offering of milk out, asking a question or making a request, and then allowing that fulfillment to come to you in a dream. Or one of the things that I recently just started or will be starting for this next new moon, or sorry, full moon this weekend, is starting a new grimoire, or my own personal book of shadows. I'm going to be starting a new one this weekend, which I'm very excited about. So just a reminder, on the eve of the full moon, so this Friday, or the night of the full moon, or even the first day of the waning moon, you want to take advantage of that full moon energy, right? Take advantage, exploit that energy, and use it for your practice. So, and then if you're looking for more kind of things to do on the full moon, I will be having a blog post on Thursday in 2 days, which is the 8th. And it will also include 2 rituals for you. One, an amplification ritual. So if you're wanting to really see that moon, that visible energy, you can use the amplification ritual. Or for those that may be needing it, I will also post a removal of negative energy ritual to be done during this full moon this weekend as well. So excited to be able to hear with you guys. Next week, next Tuesday, we'll be chatting about the last Mercury retrograde of this year. That is, Mercury retrograde is coming up as well. So we'll be chatting about how to get through that. And I look forward to seeing